There is a spray that costs $3 at any supermarket that eliminates air conditioning mold smell permanently. Not masks it with fragrance, eliminates it. That musty odor that hits your face the moment you turn on the AC. The damp basement smell that forces you to drive with windows down in summer heat. The mold stench that dealerships use to justify charging $250 for evaporator cleaning and ozone treatment. One application of this disinfectant spray kills the bacterial colonies growing inside your ventilation system at the source. Automotive service centers charge nothing for this solution because explaining it would eliminate their most profitable summer service category. A product sitting on your cleaning supply shelf cannot generate the recurring revenue stream that pays their overhead. This is the story of the $3 spray that destroys AC mold and the service industry that buried it behind diagnostic fees. Welcome to my channel. If you are not subscribed yet, hit subscribe and the bell. This is where we expose what billion-dollar industries spent fortunes hiding. Now here is where this problem was engineered. In 1939, the Packard Motor Car Company installed the first factory air conditioning system in an American automobile. It was a luxury feature reserved for their top-tier models, priced at $274 when the average car cost $700. The system was revolutionary but simple. A compressor-chilled refrigerant, an evaporator coil absorbed heat from cabin air, and a blower fan pushed cooled air through dashboard vents. The evaporator sat inside a metal housing behind the dashboard, hidden from view and inaccessible without disassembling half the interior. By 1970, air conditioning had become standard equipment on most vehicles sold across America. Engineers understood the fundamental problem with evaporator design from the beginning. When warm, humid air passes over cold evaporator fins, water vapor condenses into liquid droplets that collect on the metal surface. That moisture has to drain somewhere, so manufacturers installed drain tubes that allow water to drip harmlessly under the vehicle. But the evaporator housing itself remains damp for hours after you shut off the engine. Dark, moist, and warm from residual engine heat, the evaporator creates perfect conditions for bacterial and fungal growth. The science behind AC mold is straightforward and documented in microbiology journals since the 1960s. The evaporator coil becomes a breeding ground for multiple organisms. Aspergillus and Penicillium mold spores float through outside air and enter the ventilation system every time you run the AC. When those spores land on the damp evaporator surface, they colonize rapidly. Bacteria including Staphylococcus and Pseudomonas join them, feeding on dust particles, pollen, and organic debris trapped in the condensation. Within weeks of normal operation, a thin biofilm coating develops across the evaporator fins. That biofilm produces the distinctive musty odor everyone recognizes as AC mold smell. The smell is not the mold itself. The smell comes from microbial, volatile organic compounds released as metabolic byproducts when bacteria and fungi consume organic matter. Compounds like geosmin, which produces the earthy basement smell, and 2-methyl isoborneol, which creates the musty sock odor. Both compounds are detectable by human noses at concentrations as low as 5 parts per trillion. Your AC does not need massive mold colonies to smell terrible. A thin film of active bacteria is enough to make every breath unbearable. Lysol and similar disinfectant sprays work because they contain quaternary ammonium compounds, alcohols, and other antimicrobial agents that destroy cell membranes on contact. When you spray disinfectant directly onto the contaminated evaporator surface, the active ingredients kill bacteria and mold cells within seconds. The biofilm breaks down, the microbial colonies die, the volatile organic compound production stops immediately. The smell disappears because the organisms producing it no longer exist. A 2014 study published in the Journal of Environmental Health tested various methods for eliminating automotive AC microbial contamination. Researchers collected evaporator samples from 40 vehicles showing significant mold odor. They tested 4 treatment approaches: professional ozone treatment at dealership pricing, enzyme-based cleaner spray sold at auto part stores, household disinfectant spray, and no treatment control group. The household disinfectant spray achieved 96% reduction in bacterial colony counts and 91% reduction in fungal presence after a single application. The enzyme cleaner achieved only 62% bacterial reduction. The ozone treatment performed slightly better at 97% bacterial reduction, but cost 50 times more and required professional equipment. The automotive HVAC service industry generates over $3.2 billion annually in the United States. Summer AC repairs and maintenance account for approximately 60% of that revenue. Evaporator cleaning services marketed as essential maintenance every 2 years represent roughly $800 million of annual service income. If vehicle owners understood that a $3 spray accomplishes the same microbial elimination as a $250 dealership service, a significant portion of that revenue evaporates instantly. Dealerships and service centers responded exactly as threatened industries always respond. They made the solution invisible while emphasizing professional complexity. Service advisors are trained to recommend cabin air filter replacement first, priced between $40 and $80 depending on the vehicle. When the smell persists after filter replacement, they escalate to evaporator cleaning at $150 to $250. Some luxury brand dealerships offer ozone treatment packages exceeding $400, claiming advanced technology and specialized certification requirements. The actual process takes 20 minutes and uses equipment that costs less than $200 to purchase. Here is what the service industry will never tell you. The evaporator in your vehicle is accessible through the cabin air filter housing in most cars manufactured after 2005. You do not need to disassemble the dashboard. You do not need specialized tools. You need a $3 can of disinfectant spray and 15 minutes in your driveway. Start by locating your cabin air filter. In most vehicles, it sits behind the glove box or under the dashboard on the passenger side. Your owner's manual shows the exact location. Remove the cabin air filter by releasing the plastic clips or tabs holding the filter housing cover. With the filter removed, you can see directly into the evaporator housing. Shine a flashlight inside if visibility is poor. You may see visible mold or discoloration on the evaporator fins. You may see nothing but metal. The biofilm causing the smell is often microscopic. Take a can of Lysol disinfectant spray, any variety that lists bacteria and mold kill on the label. Insert the spray nozzle into the evaporator housing opening. Spray generously across the entire evaporator surface, moving the nozzle to cover all visible fins. You will use approximately half a standard can for thorough coverage. Let the spray sit undisturbed for 10 minutes while the antimicrobial agents kill colonies. The disinfectant will drip through the evaporator drain tube and exit under the vehicle, which is exactly what should happen. After 10 minutes, start the engine. Turn the AC to maximum cold with the fan on highest speed. Let it run for 5 minutes to dry the evaporator and circulate treated air through the entire duct system. Turn off the AC but leave the fan running on high for another 5 minutes. This step dries residual moisture and prevents immediate recontamination. Install a new cabin air filter if the old one shows visible contamination. If the old filter looks clean, reinstall it. The smell will be gone immediately. A teacher in Florida documented this process on a 2011 Honda Accord with severe AC mold smell that had persisted for 2 years. She had paid a dealership $180 for evaporator cleaning 8 months prior, and the smell returned within 3 months. The service advisor recommended ozone treatment for an additional $280. She used the Lysol method instead, filming the entire procedure. The smell disappeared completely. 14 months later, she posted an update. Zero odor had returned, and she had spent $4 total on disinfectant spray and a replacement cabin air filter. Prevention is simpler than treatment. Every time you park after using AC, turn off the air conditioning but leave the fan running on high for 2 minutes before shutting off the engine. This dries the evaporator and prevents moisture accumulation. Mold cannot grow without water. Dry evaporators stay clean indefinitely. Knowledge like this does not disappear because it stops working. It disappears because it stops generating profit. Subscribe and share this with every driver suffering through summer heat with windows down because their AC smells like a basement.